you got wide receiver Pierre Garçon.
Oh, we haven't been able to do that in a while.
It's been a while. He did have 3 for 34 and a touchdown of his own. Bills quarterback Tyrod Taylor, 16 of 27, 235 yards with 2 touchdowns, sacked 5 times. Bills running back LeSean McCoy, 10 rushes for 29 yards. He left the game in the third quarter due to a hit that was directly onto his knee.
Would you say that hit was kind of shady?
Jeez. So, it did look pretty bad at the time, but it's looking like it's a minor MCL sprain. So,
okay.
Hopefully, he kind of lucked out there. So
yeah, no, definitely.
And then you got running back Mike Gisele. 4 for 81 with a 60-yard touchdown run in the third quarter. And then you guys got Bills wide receiver Sammy Watkins. He had 5 receptions, 111 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He did, I think it was about halfway through the year, he did call out, I think the offensive coordinators, he called out the Bills offense saying, get me the ball. And the thing is he's been showing up on stat lines, and the guy backed it up.
Yeah, I mean, the only problem is his running back is decimated to the point to where Mike Gillespie is the guy that's having to fill in.
Yeah.
Got you.
So with that loss, the Bills are officially out of the playoff race, as they have not made it into the postseason for an NFL worst 16 consecutive years.
That's a lot.
So it goes all in. You have the Redskins on the top, and
but there's more. Yeah.
Yeah, they play the Eagles next week for a huge game for the division.
Yeah.
And but you got that guy Tyrod Taylor. I actually started him for my fantasy team, and he did put up some points, and which was good and all. But the thing is he the future for the Bills?
Chris, you take this one first.
Is he? I don't think he is. I think he'll have the starting job going into next year. Who else they bring in? I'm shocked that he need E.J. Manuel out. How highly touted E.J. Manuel was coming out of high school, #1 high school quarterback, and then he went to Florida State and had a decent year there behind Ponder. But I could see him starting next year. Is he the future? No, I don't think he is.
First off, I don't remember E.J. Manuel being touted when he came out of college as much as he may have been the #1 high school quarterback. I'm just saying. He got drafted in the first round, and maybe he was the only quarterback to get drafted in the first round, but wasn't nobody expecting an awful lot from him. But I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking that. I'll say this. I would add one word to your question to make it a true statement, Weasel. He is the Bills' immediate future, right? I think Chris put it best that E.J. Manuel, him being gone, this is the guy with the best shot. Jeff Toole, I don't know if he's even still on the squad, but he ain't going to be the guy, I think you got to give Tyrod Taylor credit, man. With all the injuries and adversity this team faced, he didn't do a bad job. This is a guy who went from sitting on the bench in Baltimore
for about 3-4 years.
For 3 or 4 years, thank you, Weasel Wease, to making a Buffalo Bills team who no one has been impressed by since, the 90s? To near playoff contention. They're eliminated now, but, if Geno Smith doesn't get punched in the face, the Bills have a better shot of making the playoffs. That's right, I said it. What you going to do? Exactly. I hear nobody disagreeing with what I just said either. I'm taking that to the bank, boys. You both agree with me on this. I'm hearing it. You're nodding your head. This is radio, not television, but, Anyways,
Word.
If we ever were recorded on video, it would be awkward when I said that because, then this is radio, not television. Well, no, wait. Now there's a camera. Well, damn it. It would be confusing. I need to work on it. Anyways, Panthers and their game that I declared their last best chance to lose. against the Giants.
Boring. No, just kidding.
Boring. That was awesome. Chris, tell us why it wasn't boring.
Eli Manning found a wide open Odell Beckham Jr. on the opening drive down the field, easily for a touchdown, and Beckham dropped it. Problem was the ball was thrown perfectly, and Beckham went up with two hands instead of trying to grab it with one.
Well, you know what it was. He only had two instead of three. He can catch with three fingers, but if you lower it to two hands, that's too much. That's not enough, rather. See what I did there?
Dude, he was like literally more
Don't
than 5 yards behind the secondary on that pass.
And his hands were just weird on that play. When he dropped it, his hands were like, I don't know. It's like he was trying to grab it like the whole wrong way. I don't know. It's just one of those split-second things. But yeah, he blew it.
I'm not trying to pile on, but I think that weird is one of many ways you could describe what happens when somebody drops a ball like that. I agree.
Yeah, I mean that only gave motivation to Cam Newton, and the Panthers cruised out to a 38-7 late third quarter lead until they tried to conserve some gas, and the Giants fought back 28 points down to tie the game up late in the fourth quarter, just to see another game slip away. And Graham Gano kicked a 43-yarder as time expired, and the Panthers stay undefeated in a 38-35 victory. Eli Manning was 29 for 46, 245 yards, 4 touchdowns, an INT. The INT came in the fourth quarter, which was in the end zone. That interception wasn't too hard on the Giants because 2 plays later, Cam Newton fumbled the ball. Rashard Jennings had 16 carries for 107 yards and a touchdown. Odell Beckham Jr. had 76 and a touchdown. Ruben Randall, Will Tye, and Shane Vereen each had a touchdown catch. For the Panthers, Ted Ginn Jr. had 6 catches for 85 yards and 2 touchdowns. Greg Olsen had 6 for 79 and a touchdown. Corey Brown and rookie Devin Funchess each had a touchdown catch. Difference in the game was Cam Newton. Even though he had a fumble, I mentioned he was 25 for 45 for 340 yards and 5 touchdowns. This week he wasn't a slacker like I called him last week. We're only throwing 3. He threw 5. And he also had 8 carries for 100 yards.
You know, I think that's the first on this show. Like, the difference in this game wasn't a stat. The difference in this game was Cam bleeping Newton. I mean, I had to, I'm glad that we're talking about that and not spending our whole time talking about, Odell Beckham Jr., which we're going to do eventually, I know, but
I'll just say a little thing with Cam Newton. I kind of, he does, people gave him, a lot of crap, in articles and on the internet about how he, celebrates. And,
right.
His, I guess doing the thing called the dab or whatever it is.
He does all sorts of dancing, man.
But the thing is usually I think for a lot of, it's not only Cam Newton, but I saw Ted Ginn do it and everything like that. They give the footballs to fans in the stands. They do that a lot, and there was, following Ginn's, I think, second touchdown, Cam Newton went to this a kid in the stands, and he got a fist bump from him, and the kid was really, really pumped up. And
sure.
It's some teams, they do it every once in a while or something like that, but for the Panthers, I think I see it a lot, and I think it's pretty cool.
I don't know if
Cam Newton does it to kids all the time. He doesn't do it to the fans or anything. He always looks for a kid.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think it's cool.
I think there's only one kid that Cam Newton wouldn't give a football to, and that's that guy from the NFL Network commercial where he's all like, and I could become the starting quarterback for the Panthers? And become your mom's favorite player? Whoa. Best NFL Network commercial ever. I think that's hands down.
That was a Play 60 commercial.
Right. That was on NFL Network, done by the NFL, right? Yeah. I mean,
right.
Okay, it's fine. Best Play 60 commercial ever. Got you. You and your technicalities. Whatever. I'm just saying. So, yeah, keep going.
All right, so really, I mean, with the Giants, with this loss, their playoff hopes are shot now. They also lost Beckham, suspended 1 game because of his outbursts on the field as he hit Josh Norman late. Yeah, it was not really late, but a dirty hit because he comes back into a pile, hit it helmet to helmet against Josh Norman.
Right.
A lot of people are like, the dirty play by Beckham, this and that. Well, you know what? Officiating should have controlled it from the beginning.
Right. Both players, too.
First series of the game, first run by the Giants, Josh Norman picked Odell Beckham up and slammed him down to the ground after the play, and the rest did nothing.
Yeah, and it continued like that for the whole time. Go ahead,
I don't think
Weasel.
it was. I think that for that play, I think Beckham did something to get him mad.
Well, right.
I don't think it was.
No, they were talking about this matchup all week long. So I mean, it doesn't even literally have to do Beckham on that, because Beckham already beat him bad right before that. It was like the very next series when he did that. Beckham had his hands up in the air like I'm done, has his hands up, and Norman slammed him down to the ground, and the ref was standing right there and didn't do anything on it. So that just led to Beckham's tirade the rest of the game, and then he was just going after Norman after every play after that.
Now, there was I have a little quote about what something that Norman said about one Odell Beckham Jr. Let's see. He plays in a big city, and he gives them what they want. He gives the crowd what they want. He's been flourishing there, so I have nothing but all nice and positive things to say, and we'll see what it looks like on Sunday. So that was before the game.
Right.
Yes. Following it, yeah. It's just it was this game. It kind of got me like angry at times because the helmet-to-helmet hit was something that said, bam, this right here, you got to get suspended for that.
So in your mind, that's where the line was crossed.
He was, yes. The two of them were fighting way in the beginning, and I think with Odell Beckham Jr.'s drop, I believe it was on the first drive.
Yeah.
Would have gave the Giants the lead, 7-0, and but I think that Norman just, as one of the best cornerbacks in the league, he may have gotten in his head after that play because he did not get a catch.
Beckham got
that whole
in his
first half.
Yeah, Beckham got in his own head is what I saw, and he was moping about that drop for a good portion of the game, and for all intents and purposes, didn't really show back up until he caught the game-tying touchdown late in the fourth quarter.
And while everybody's talking about, the Odell Beckham Jr. and about, the suspension and stuff, there were multiple plays. Like one of them where I think Norman was running right alongside of him, and Odell Beckham, he stopped and he lunged himself into Norman, and it's just there were slaps. Like there was one of the replays showed that he had an open hand slap against Norman's head.
Right, and they were doing that to one another. Yeah.
And it's just they kept going and going. The refs did nothing. Both sides are giving crap because there weren't any veteran players that we know of that talked to Odell Beckham Jr. saying something like, "Hey, dude, you know that if you get these 4 penalties, that's about 60 yards right there, and you're hurting the team."
Right.
And it's just that they kept on going at it, and the refs didn't draw a line or anything like that. They didn't separate them. They didn't throw flags immediately, like you were saying that he threw him on the ground, no flag. It just allowed it to just get out of control. And yeah, what took the cake was that he launched himself into Norman
head.
after I think it was Norman he spun him or something.
Yeah, he batted him on the back of his helmet.
And to spin him away from him, and he came back with a vengeance and just launched himself. And the only thing I want to say about this is that not only did he jeopardize the health and of Norman, he could have gotten injured.
Yeah,
Odell Beckham Jr. could have injured himself with a
Correct.
concussion. You never know. Maybe he had a mild kind of concussion because that was a nasty hit on Norman.
No, there's no way he had a concussion because right after that happened, what did he do? He went over and he kneed Beckham in the head that no one's talking about either.
It was the thing about...
So right there, that both players should have been just ejected right then because of what was going on during the game.
Settle down, Homer, because here's the truth about it, because both of y'all are arguing from two very different sides. Here's what I saw. And both of you made the same statement that's absolutely true. By the time that play by Beckham with the helmet-to-helmet hit, which, Chris, I'm sorry, I know he kneed him in the head after, but yeah, you kind of deserve it at that point. But I say all that to say this. Neither of those players should have still been in the game by that point. Because if the officials had taken proper control from play one, Look, I don't want to hear about, Josh Norman took him down, there was no call. They took each other down throughout the course of this game. And there was